This is the Randi Rhodes Show on 960 KNEW and online at 960knew.com.
Profiles in Courage presents Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama. Amid all the talk about going over the fiscal cliff, Senator Sessions isn't afraid to call out the people who got us into this financial mess in the first place. Food stamp recipients.
This program has been growing out of control at an incredible rate.
We will never know what it was that made poor people suddenly develop this ridiculous craving for food, and right in the middle of a huge recession of all things. What we do know is we need to find a way to make up for the fact that rich people can't pay taxes, and we can't do that if poor people keep eating the way they have been. It's not just the hungry ones either, as the courageous Jeff Sessions can tell you.
And there are a lot of people receiving benefits that do not qualify and should not receive them.
61% of the households in Senator Sessions' state of Alabama have children who receive food assistance. 61%. Democrats keep feeding you the lie that we can go a long way towards balancing the budget on the backs of the richest 2% of Americans. Well, it seems to us that it would be a lot easier to do it on the backs of 61%. It's simple math. That's a lot more backs, even if, a lot of them are children.
This month was a record increase in food stamp participation.
It's just like with any family that has a budget problem. First, you cut out the food. That way, you don't have to bother your billionaire uncle for any money. It's hard to stand out from the crowd for insensitivity when you're a Republican from Alabama, but Jeff Sessions does it. Boy, does he. Senator Sessions, Profiles in Courage salutes you.
It's true. This is where Republicans want to cut. They want to cut, this is why they say they want to cut, they have in their heads that they can cut $600 billion out of the budget. When you look at the programs that benefit people who are least able to take care of their children, to take care of roofs over their heads, probably because wages are too stinking low, like people who make minimum wage or people who make even $10 an hour but can't get a 40-hour work week, or can but don't have health care, or can but don't, have, affordable housing anywhere near them. Do you know what I'm saying? So we supplement some of their earnings with a food stamp. Now, this is where Republicans would like to cut. We just went through 12 programs, 12 things that America has done for quite some time to help create a safety net for people who are either unemployed or working and still can't find a job that pays them a living wage, even though they may be working 40 hours a week, 39 hours a week. They still can't feed their families. So Sessions thinks that that's the appropriate place to go to find money. Also, they think Medicaid, which is the program for the poorest people in any state, that they want to, cut beneficiaries off of Medicaid, where we would like to cut the waste and fraud out of Medicaid. And also see that providers, don't gouge it, don't overbill, don't do things they don't need to do. But they like, to go after Medicaid, food stamps, the supplemental security income for the elderly, the disabled, the blind, unemployment benefits for 2 million jobless people, Pell grants, 10 million low-income students rely on that, Section 8 housing, 2 million people get, Section 8 housing vouchers, job training, not interested in doing that. They're not interested in Head Start anymore. They're not interested in community health centers that help 20 million Americans every single year. They're not interested in LIHEAP, which is a low-income home energy assistance program that benefits 23 million very poor people. Pay their heating bills in the wintertime. They're not interested in Title I education grants, which is their program. That's No Child Left Behind. And they're certainly not interested in helping 9 million babies get the proper nutrition so their brains develop properly. Not interested in helping 9 million babies either. So these are the things that they can't say that they want to cut. But when they talk about so-called entitlements, which people pay for in their taxes, that's where they'd like to attack. That's where, now, like I said, it's about $600 billion rounded up. And that does not bridge the gap between what we pay and what we owe. What we need to bridge is $1.3 trillion. Now, when we sit here and tell you that there's no way to cut your way into a balanced budget, that's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about. But of course, Paul Ryan's budget, which is the same budget that Boehner is using now as the offer, the counter offer, cuts 62% of everything it cuts from those programs. That's his solution. 62% of all the cuts in the Ryan budget come from those programs. That's where they'd like to go looking for money. I, on the other hand, would like to go looking for money in the tax code.